Hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm so excited. Okay, so I know it's been a little bit since I've shown you anything I've done with this because I've not been doing just a consistent working on this. It's just been as I have an idea or as I um just had free time really kind of and just wanted to work on it, and which was the purpose of this anyways. It was just to fill blank space for me as far as time wise goes, and while I'm listening to audiobooks. And most of you know I've already started on working on a crazy quilt for my oldest grandson, so I've been working on that too. So in between working on that, when I have like just inspiration or whatever, I've been working on this. But I wanted to show you. So I did this last night and I'm in love with it. And I did this on the sailboat piece because to me, feather stitch has always looked like coral reef. So like I can't not put that there. So I did that and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so lovely. So I'm so excited about that. And then this, I did one evening, and I just kind of keep adding to this. Like I didn't do it all in one evening. Like I added a few little things and then I went back and added some more little things. And then, so this has just been a growing piece over here. Like just as I look at it and go, I think it needs some of this somewhere. So I'll just stick that in there and again just come back and do different things to it. So, but what I really wanted to show you was, and again, this was my learning new stitches piece. This is my, I want to practice what I already know, but I also want to try my hand at new stitches and learn new stitches. And I'm really bad at having done stitches, but if they're not right in front of me and I don't use them on a regular everyday basis, then I tend to forget about them. And so I forget what I have available, I guess, in my arsenal and what would be considered my arsenal of stitches. I kind of forget what I have available on hand. So I thought if I could like have a piece where I kind of like put as many as I could into a piece or learned as many as I could into a piece, and then I used this piece for something, then I could look back and go, oh, I think I'm going to do that stitch, or oh, I think I'm going to do that stitch. And so I've not done a very good job of keeping you all up to date on this one. So let me hold this up just a second. So I had done the Cretan stitch or started the Cretan stitch in a previous video, and I did it in a color and I didn't love it. I didn't love the color, and then I went back over it and I put a different color and it didn't help, and I didn't love it just as much as before. So I pulled all of that Cretan stitch out and I put in a new Cretan stitch with a different color and a different thread, and I really like it. And then I came down here and I just did running stitch all through this piece right here. And then I did the herringbone across here, and then I used that same color and I come down through here because I loved the contrast on this pinky orange square. And I tested out doing a straight feather stitch, and then I came down here and did a twisted chain stitch. Goodness, I could not think. I did a twisted chain stitch, and I'm probably like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add different things to all of these other stitches, but I just started with just the basics, and then thought I would like come back and fill in the blanks and the spaces. But I did this piece. This is the first time I attempted the twisted chain, and that took a minute, and I did it kind of small, I felt like, but I come back and I put these French knots in here. And then I kind of jumped around, and that's when I came over here to this piece and did this piece. And again, just kept kind of playing and adding to this one. And then of course I did this right here, which is called a feathered twig stitch. That's what that's called. That's a feathered twig stitch. So I did that, and I really like the look of it, but it kind of blends in. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make that stand out a little bit more. And then I did my coral with just a plain feather stitch. And this is just a plain fern stitch. And that's just a plain blanket stitch. But this is a chain feather stitch. So that was my first attempt at a chain feather stitch. And then I just kind of played with the elements of that chain feathered stitch in this little gap because I didn't want to go over any of my other stitches. So I just kind of played with that. And then this was my first attempt at a cable chain stitch. And then that was my first attempt at the closed blanket stitch. And then I came back up here and I did another twisted chain stitch and I spaced it out a good bit more. Just to see what that effect would do. And then this, I just did a wave on, this is my sailboat piece, and I just did a wave on my sailboats, just in the same blue, and I just did it with a stem stitch to kind of keep it simple, on that one. And that was just a cross stitch. Right? That's just cross stitches. So that's got all of my seams done. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add in different little things, and then I've drawn some lines on here in that same water erasable pen so that I know where I want to go with it and where I want to start and stuff. So I'll go in there and do that. But I really wanted to show you this. So if you're not following Jennifer Clouston on YouTube, do. She's a great inspiration. She is my inspiration for this. I just feel like I have learned so much from her. She's my inspiration for this. And I still have to figure out what I want to do on the outside here because I want to do it different than I did the inside. But again, so she's been my inspiration for a lot of this stuff. And a lot of this stuff I have learned from her, like this this feathered chain stitch I learned from her, and this cable chain stitch I learned from her, and this twisted chain stitch I learned from her. Oh, and this feathered twig stitch is her own creation, invention, something of that nature, however you want to call it. So I learned that from her, and there's definitely a learning curve on that one. I was like, ooh, I'm not sure about that. So, but I did it and I got it. And this, the straight feather stitch is one of her own creations as well. No, I'm sorry, not one of her own creations, but it's in her book and she talks about it and she's used it. So I got the inspiration from her. So I've definitely learned a lot from her. So I'm tagging her in this video. Thank you, Jennifer, so much. You've been so helpful. It has been wonderful. But ta-da! I got her book. And I love it. I love it so much. So if you're not watching her, watch her, get her book. I'll actually even put a link in here so you can order the book from here. If you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to support my small independent bookstore with ordering a book from there, you can. It would be greatly appreciated, but you don't have to, but you can order it however you want to order it. But if you like stitching and you like the idea of freeform and you just like pretty things, go get this. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. And it's got so much great information in it, and it shows a lot of her work, and it's all just beautiful, but it's a great way to just kind of get started. And I love how she breaks it down into your base stitches and then your add-on stitches, like what you add on to, or what you can add on to other things. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter called. I'm probably gonna have to do some editing on this to get out all of the craziness, apparently. And I hope the end of that didn't get cut off by her calling. I'm not sure what effect that had on the video. But anyways, again, if you haven't followed Jennifer Clouston on YouTube, do so. There's her name. You can look her up. She's on here. She's wonderful. Follow her. She's lovely. And get her book. If you want inspiration on hand and just different things to do, can be done, what it's going to kind of look like. And that's what I did with this piece. Like, I didn't follow step by step on what she did in the book, but I just was like, okay, so I started with the stem stitch, and I was like, okay, now what can I add to this? So then I just started adding different little elements to this. And I was like, okay, that looks good. What can I add to that? So then I was like, okay, I can do, let me try this. And oh, okay, let me try this. So I ended, and then by the time I ended, this is what I ended with. I was like, oh my gosh, it's lovely. It's beautiful. And I was so excited. Like, it's just what I sat on the couch and did last night while listening to a book. Um, and I'm just so pleased with it. Really, just completely pleased with it. And who knows? I may just keep adding to it. I don't know. I mean, maybe not to that, but I can do like some other things in the gaps, maybe. But I'm not sure. Who knows? I've got all these other things to do first. So I love the inspiration that's in here. It's absolutely lovely and beautiful. So, anyways, my air conditioner is kicked on. I know that will semi affect the sound, not too terribly. I'm at work again today doing this, and this is my, I don't know if you can see this, this is my tackle box of thread and stuff. And I was like, I was laughing at myself earlier because I was like, I went from a caboodle, a makeup caboodle. I don't know if you guys remember that from like the 80s and 90s. We had fishing tackle boxes that were turned into makeup boxes. They were done in bright colors for women, but they literally looked just like men's fishing tackle boxes. So I went from a makeup tackle box to now a sewing tackle box. But I'm okay with that. I just love the transitions we go through in life. So I thought that was one of the interesting tidbits and interesting transitions. Yeah, I've gone from a makeup tackle box to a sewing tackle box. I thought you all might get a kick out of that. Anyways, so enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.